When Trump met Putin in Alaska, he expected standard diplomatic protocol. Instead, he witnessed a $10 billion security spectacle that left him speechless. Fighter jets, armored convoys, elite bodyguards matching American forces, gun for gun, and Putin's flying fortress worth more than most countries' defense budgets. But the real reason behind this show of force? That's where it gets interesting. Let me break it down. The Alaska summit that changed everything. Picture this. August 15th, 2025. The frozen wilderness of Alaska becomes the backdrop for one of the most extraordinary diplomatic encounters in modern history. As Air Force One descended through the Arctic sky toward Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, President Donald Trump was about to witness something that would leave him, according to multiple sources, absolutely speechless. What he was about to encounter wasn't just a meeting with Vladimir Putin. It was a front-row seat to the most elaborate, most expensive, and most paranoid security operation the world has ever seen. The story begins with what didn't happen. For the first time in decades, Putin made a decision that sent shockwaves through intelligence communities worldwide. He deliberately traveled without his standard Russian fighter jet escort, a move so unprecedented that it redefined the very concept of diplomatic trust. Typically, when the Russian president ventures beyond his borders, the sky becomes a fortress. Usually, 4 to 6 Russian Su-57 fighter jets escort his aircraft, creating an impenetrable aerial shield that costs millions in operational expenses alone. Each of these cutting-edge fighters represents an acquisition cost of $35 to $50 million, making a single escort mission worth more than most countries' annual defense budgets. But Alaska was different. Putin's decision to ditch his military escort was a calculated diplomatic gesture, designed to de-escalate tensions and focus entirely on the historic negotiations about Ukraine. What replaced this Russian air power, however, was something far more spectacular and costly than anything Putin could have brought himself. As Putin's luxury Ilyushin Il-96-300 Pu aircraft, dubbed the Flying Kremlin, approached Alaskan airspace, the United States military orchestrated a display of power that would make even the most seasoned defense analysts' jaws drop. A B-2 stealth bomber, flanked by 4 F-35 Lightning II jets, conducted a thunderous flyover during the tarmac greeting. The cost of this single aerial demonstration was staggering. The B-2 alone operates at $135,000 per hour, while each F-35 adds another $80,000 to $85,000 per hour to the bill. What truly shocked Trump, according to multiple intelligence sources and viral YouTube investigations, wasn't just the American display of military might. It was Putin's aircraft itself. The Flying Kremlin represents everything that makes Putin's security apparatus so uniquely extravagant and paranoid. Valued at approximately $500 million to $1 billion, including upgrades and entourage support, this isn't just a presidential aircraft. It's a flying fortress designed to survive nuclear warfare. The interior of Putin's aircraft reads like something from a science fiction novel, but with the price tag of a small nation's GDP. Gold-plated interiors, advanced defense systems, and nuclear blast resistance create an atmosphere of opulence that even Trump, with his famously luxurious lifestyle, found overwhelming. Multiple YouTube channels have claimed that the aircraft even shocked Donald Trump due to its extravagance, though specific quotes from Trump about his reaction remain unverified in official transcripts. The ground operations surrounding this summit told an even more expensive story. The U.S. Secret Service deployed hundreds of agents in what was described as a one-week sprint preparation, importing vehicles from other states and housing agents locally due to limited rental availability in Anchorage. The logistical nightmare of securing a remote Alaskan military base for two of the world's most protected leaders created costs that spiraled into the millions within days. But here's where the story becomes truly extraordinary. Putin's Russian Federal Protective Service detail didn't just show up. They implemented a security protocol so elaborate that it matched American forces body for body, gun for gun. If 10 American agents secured a room, 10 Russians did the same. If the Secret Service deployed a counter-sniper team, the FSO matched them position for position. This wasn't just diplomatic parity. It was security theater on a scale that dwarfed most military operations. The estimated cost of this entire operation reached astronomical proportions. U.S. taxpayers ultimately paid $9 to $15 million overall, including $3.2 million for Air Force One's round trip, $6 to $8 million for cargo and press planes, and $2 to $4 million for Secret Service and motorcade security. Russian costs, while classified, likely matched or exceeded American expenditures when factoring in the deployment of elite FSO personnel and the operational costs of the Flying Kremlin. What made this summit particularly shocking for Trump wasn't just the immediate costs. It was witnessing firsthand the everyday reality of Putin's security apparatus. This wasn't a special occasion display. This was simply how the Russian president travels, protected by a federal protective service employing over 50,000 personnel and operating with a budget that prioritizes personal personal protection above virtually every other government function. The visual spectacle continued as both leaders toured American military equipment, with Putin projecting confidence through symbolic gestures like examining stealth fighters and riding in Trump's armored limousine. Russian media immediately spun the U.S. escort as propaganda, framing it as American deference to Putin, while critics called the entire operation a lavish photo opportunity that benefited Putin more than American interests. The human elements of Putin's security detail became immediately apparent to Trump's team. Putin's elite bodyguards, known internally as the Musketeers, maintained constant vigilance throughout the summit. These aren't ordinary security personnel. They're highly trained operatives who undergo 5-year preparation programs at specialized academies, learning everything from advanced combat techniques to diplomatic protocols. Each guard represents an investment of hundreds of thousands of dollars in training and equipment, creating a human shield worth more than most small businesses. The psychological warfare aspect of Putin's security became evident in the smallest details. His guards implemented protocols that seemed almost comically paranoid to American observers, including the now infamous poop briefcase routine to prevent DNA collection. Food testing involved portable laboratories and multiple tasters, while advanced teams had swept the entire base for surveillance devices, sometimes replacing fixtures entirely with Russian equipment. As the summit concluded with F-35 and F-22 Raptors escorting Putin's aircraft out of U.S. airspace, Trump found himself face-to-face with a sobering reality. Putin's security apparatus isn't just about protection, it's about projecting power through unprecedented financial commitment to personal safety, regardless of cost to the Russian people or state. This Alaska encounter was merely Trump's introduction to what experts estimate could be a $10 billion security empire that surrounds Putin every moment of every day. What he witnessed in those frozen Alaskan hours was just the tip of an iceberg that extends deep into the Russian economy, redirecting massive resources toward protecting one man in ways that redefined the very concept of presidential security. The implications of what Trump observed would become clear only as the full scope of Putin's security obsession revealed itself in the months following their historic